Need everybody inbound. We ready. Some days I smile like Mickey. Everybody united around my city. Mercedes Benz sound real pretty. Come stop for me and I'm ready.
Welcome to Five Stripe Friday. I'm Blake, joined by my co-host ATL Joe. We're ATLians United podcast. This is episode 10. Joe, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling like 10. It's wonderful. I'm feeling as high as the pollen count in Atlanta.
Are we at a 10 already?
Closer to 10,000. The whole inside of my head is itching.
Man, that sounds like you should probably get that checked out. Anyways, we're here to bring you the hype. We're rolling into our match against NYCFC, the toughest opponent we've played so far. They are number 1 in the East. Thanks for listening. I think it's time, Joe, that we should just go straight into the news.
Straight in the news.
Breaking news.
This is my first time on the podcast.
Oh, Joe,
Hey.
That's not you.
Welcome, Brit.
Hey,
You're
Brit.
welcome. I'm here to do the news.
Hey, guys, it's our producer, Brit. She's going to do the news.
There's lots of stuff going on in Atlanta this weekend. And, the most important is that we're playing the New York Football Club. At home, we're going to blow them out of the water. They're number 1. That don't mean nothing.
We're number 1.
We're number 3, but I like your positivity.
We're number 1.
And Joe's hearts and minds were number 1. So let's talk about what's going on in Atlanta. So the first thing is the Atlanta Film Festival. Now we know film is huge in Georgia right now. So what's cool about the Atlanta Film Festival is that it's like local indie stuff, like home roots, and it's all over the city. So one of the places I want to check out that I've never been is the Plaza Theater. Have you guys ever been there?
No, I've. Is that the theater that you drive down Ponce and it's right next to that diner and it looks really cool? But I've never been there.
Yes.
The Majestic.
I've been there.
To the Majestic or the Plaza?
Majestic and the Plaza.
Was that Plato's Closet right there? Or one of those cool clothing shops?
Urban Outfitters, Joe.
Yeah, it's about the same thing.
I saw a documentary there. It's a little theater. It's nice. It's intimate. Intimate's a good word.
Yeah, they do some cool stuff there. I've never been. And so they're a big part of the film festival, so that's cool. Next is Dogwood Festival. So if you guys have never been, the Dogwood Festival is awesome. It's in Piedmont Park. It's arts and crafts. It's food. It's just, there's so many artists there. A couple years ago, I got a Salvador Dali water painting, and it's awesome. They have live bands. My bands, #Moody Hollow, shout out, was there. And it's just a really cool festival. And I'd suggest that everyone goes to it. And I don't know. Have you guys ever been to the Dogwood Festival?
I was there a couple years ago when your band played. Little
yeah.
Holla. That was good.
Yeah, it's a cool
It's fun.
festival.
Wasn't it at it's been at Piedmont Park the whole time, or was this the one that used to be at 4th Ward?
That's like another art festival as well, because they do a lot of festivals in the 4th Ward Park too. I know which one you're talking about, but Dogwood is definitely the biggest. I think it's the biggest arts and crafts festival in the Southeast. So it's huge, which is cool.
Do they let dogs in?
They don't, actually. Isn't that funny?
I feel like that's a little bit hypocritical.
Well,
Well-
Dogwood's a tree, Blake.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Botany. What?
Oh, learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Just like Joe's Spanish words.
Oh, yeah, Joe, what's your word of the week?
Oh, put me on the spot. We talked about this a second ago. I had 5. But this week I've got vamos.
Seems like you've learned a lot, over the last couple weeks. You're really keeping up with Rosetta Stone. I'm really proud of you, Just
ATL.
I've been learning my Spanish from the new Chance. So the Vamos Atlanta. And then what is it?
Esta noche.
So what does that mean again?
Tenemos que ganar.
Tenemos que ganar. Vamos.
Vamos.
Yeah, okay, that one.
Yeah, it sounds like the crowd, actually.
That's pretty good.
Everyone off cue and not knowing what to say.
I don't know about you guys. I was right on cue.
Oh, I'll tell you this. I like that chant, and I know that we're trying to like learn it and stuff. But we did also play it like 7 times last game, which is I just don't like how we do it with any chant. You know, I get kind of tired. I'm like, all right, let's do some new ones or some ones I haven't heard in a while. But I do like that one. It's upbeat. And I also felt like, I don't know where I was sitting in the supporter section, but I definitely heard a lot of that flag and beer hate. I was like, man, we're in the supporter section, guys. Like, it is crazy. That was the first time I'd actually heard it, like people yelling about the flags.
Well, I was waving my flag, and I was imbibing in some libation.
So you didn't learn Spanish, but you definitely beefed up your English, yeah?
Oh, yeah. That way, if I say imbibe and libate, the kids that listen to our show aren't going to be influenced by ATL Joe.
Yeah, that's smart, Joe. That's smart.
Be smart. Just like, yeah, I mean.
And if they know what I'm saying, then good for them. They should be an honors program.
Yeah.
Go, kids.
Well, hey, let's move on with the news. Let's talk about
Cheers.
soccer. All right, so there's a lot going on with soccer. The first thing is really I want to talk to you guys about. Why don't you guys talk to me about the CONCACAF championship? Because Toronto is playing Guadalajara, and I know that this is like a huge deal to have an LMS team in the championship.
Yeah, this week was the semifinals, and Toronto just dominated theirs. They won 3-1 2 weeks ago, and last week they tied 1-1 to make it into the finals. Big deal. And Guadalajara, also known as Chivas, they're one of a historic Mexican teams that constantly are in the Final Four of CONCACAF, and they beat New York Red Bulls. And it's just a big deal. I'm really going to pull for Toronto. This might be the only time I ever pull for another MLS team is if they're in the final here because it's big for our league. And what better than have an MLS team, the first to win it, if it's not Atlanta, make it a Canadian team. So when Atlanta does win it, they'll be the first U.S. team to win it all.
I like that angle. That's great. You know, like just like, you know, Canada.
Can't Canada.
Can't Canada.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
really
a huge Canada fan.
Really? Have you been to Canada?
No. I just don't like Canada.
I think that's
What are you, Trump?
well, yeah.
Wow. I thought we said we were politically correct.
All right, so let's talk
Sorry.
about the other big topic, okay, that everyone's been talking about all week. Mbia. Am I saying his name right?
No.
How do you
Not
say
at
it?
all.
Mbia.
Mbia. Sorry,
So, like,
it's like
if
right
you're
in my
drinking,
character.
if you're in a German town and you think that beer is delicious, like, and then you know the German word for beer is Bier. It's, Bier.
Mbia.
I think you just gotta feel like Stephane Mbia.
Stephane
Mbia.
Mbia.
Like Stephane Mbia.
So it's been on everyone's mind because it's rumored that he might get transferred to Atlanta. Obviously, that's a cool new player for us to have. We've been kind of looking for someone to replace Carmona this whole season.
Carmona.
Right? So he's the captain of the Cameroon national team. He's just a great, well-rounded player, and it would be a great addition. So the question is, does he want to jump to MLS, right? So what do you guys think?
Well, I'd be excited for this. I played with him at FIFA growing up as a kid, and it was awesome. Cameroon had a solid team when he was a star. He played on Carlos Bocanegra's team for 1 year, and it'd be pretty cool. He's a solid player, but I don't know if he's coming in. I don't know where he would fit. Honestly, if he came to our team, I think he would start on the bench. What do you think, Blake? Do you think he's better than Larry?
No, 100%. I think Mbia would take us to a next level. I mean, he's been a stud. He's still the captain of the Cameroon national team. We're talking about a player that has tons of experience in the European leagues. I think he could bring something into our team right away. Obviously, Larry has been solid. I just think we're going to have to rotate him out. The guy's getting old. Why not bring in Mbia?
That's a good thought because Mbia is 30, Larry's 34. I think you bring him in and he kind of learns the system, learns how Larry plays, and slowly translates to him because this might be Larry's last year. Big Red could be on his way out, and Mbia would be a wonderful 3 to 4 year replacement, and he would seamlessly transition.
Well, I like all the topics, but I also think we need to move on from a rumor until it becomes more prominent. I think we should talk about.
They came out that he may not be coming. There was another article that came out that said this might not even be happening, but
Right.
that's how rumors are in the MLS. You can't really know what to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on an exciting portion is that Joseph broke another MLS record. He had 24 goals in 25 games. That's huge. The record before that was 23. I'm a little sad he didn't get 25 and 12, but I'll take it. He plays awesome. It obviously shows that he's a great player.
Maybe he'll get 25 and 5 the next 5 games.
Yeah, there you go. He'll just get like 6 more hat tricks, and that'd be great. But what I really want to talk about, what's really on my mind, is our new jerseys that we're debuting against the LA Galaxy, or it's Latin Galaxy, as you guys like to say, right? So I have a problem with King Peach. The idea behind King Peach is great. I love it. I love embracing the city. But seeing them against LAFC's jerseys, to me, there was some lacking, right? I'm standing 20 rows up, and I can't even read the numbers because they're peach. And then I'm looking at LAFC, and they're in these awesome black and gold. They're wearing our colors. We're not even wearing our colors. And so I'm so excited that we're premiering our black, environmentally friendly jerseys this game. We're going to look so awesome. It's like when the Falcons, when they wear all black, I'm like, why don't we do that every game? So I'm so excited. I'm bummed the jerseys sold out before I could get one.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to have to bring back these jerseys for next week when we play LA Galaxy.
I think they sold out before anyone could get one.
Wait,
they only
next week?
apparently released like 20 jerseys. I was reading about it. Because they're made from recycled plastic. So.
I think they're going to be hot, but like sexy and temperature-wise, both. But guys, it's been great having me on the news. But I think we got to talk about something really important, and that's the injury report.
Injury report. Injury report.
I feel like that last part of the injury report was new. That like, wah, wah. You know, that was cool. Hey, guys.
I think I'm on the injury report this week.
What's wrong with you?
Did you not see me fall down the Mercedes-Benz stairs?
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Joe, we're glad you're okay.
I think I'm going to be able to make it to next week's game. I'll be back in the starting lineup, supporters section, number 17. So
Yeah.
don't worry.
Yeah, I think Joe is a bruised elbow. Is that the only injury we had?
And bruised lower back,
Lower back.
really low back.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe took a tiny tumble at the game, but it was no big deal. He is probable. He is probable for Sunday. Let's talk about some of our actual players. Not that you're not a key player of the team, Joe.
Number 17.
Yeah, number 17. Never discredit.
It's almost
number
like 45
17.
and 1,000 in one.
That's true. That's true. If one member of the supporter section is hurt, then the entire section is hurt.
Well said.
So Joe, we're all praying for you. We are all hoping that you get better, and we also are hoping that Barco continues to get back up to match fitness. He has been back in training.
Barco come back.
Oh man, that was great. You want to go into that a little more?
That's all I got. Barco come back.
All right, I agree. We'll perform a full rendition of Barco come back for you guys next week, if he actually comes back. Barco is training with the team. He's only trained twice since he has been hurt. He trained on Tuesday, took the day off Wednesday, trained Thursday. I think they're just working him up to fitness. I don't think we're going to see Barco this weekend. That's my personal opinion. Escobar, still no sign of Escobar. I don't know what happened to Escobar. He got punched really hard by a wall. We are talking about him for the 4th week in a row.
He is big. He is tall. He's got a solid right hook.
Yeah. Do not get punched by the wall. And so Tito is now the newest member of our injury report, which is
Oh,
quite
no.
tragic because we had like a couple Tito songs we were trying to debut, but now he got hurt.
We can't really sing Tito songs if he's not doing anything.
Yeah, that doesn't work out for us.
What did he
so.
hurt?
He hurt my heart, but he also hurt his hamstring. So Tito is pulled up apparently in the game. You know when he got pulled in the LAFC game, kind of late on. And
Wait. Hold on. I want to interject a little bit. He hurt his hamstring. Could it possibly have been on that shot attempt where he made one guy fall on the ground and juked past another guy and then lined up for a shot and just shot it to
Rocketed
the corner
over.
flag?
yeah, that wasn't a very great shot. Hopefully,
Did he
didn't
pull
hurt
up
his-
just then? I was like,
Hopefully, he didn't hurt his hamstring. I mean, I did see him with the shorts rolled up late in the game, but I didn't know if he was just trying to copy Joseph.
yeah.
So,
It's like work on your tan at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
or just show off your quads. Because, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do every game day. Show off my quads.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad look
I mean, if you have to,
for a white guy.
what are you trying to say, Joe? Are you trying to say that I don't have nice quads?
No, I said it's not a bad look
Okay, we're moving on.
for a white guy.
Greg Garza. Garza's back in training. He's going to start this week. I'm 100% positive of that. You can quote me. I'll put 5 on it.
Really? Okay.
I got
Okay.
5 on it.
I got 5 on.
I got 5 on Greg Garza starting this week. So sad addition to the injury report. Everyone panicked on Wednesday. It's 5 Stripe Friday. Joseph is back in training. He's got a cast, but it's a little cast. He started out with a big cast, like a full arm air cast, looking like RoboCop.
He looks so awesome with that cast on.
Yeah,
it's so
but
tough.
Unfortunately, we can't let him play with that large of a cast because it's probably bigger than Tito's quads. That cast.
Oh,
It's a beast of a cast. You see that thing? We're watching
that's a
the
good
video feed.
reference.
So Joseph apparently is good to play. I mean, it's his arm. He's got a little cast on his wrist. I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, last time someone hurt their arm was Greg Garza, and I was like, yeah, he's definitely going to play, just not taking throw-ins. And then Garza was out last week.
Well, this week I got 5 on it. Hey, let's move. Let's talk about LAFC. Let's move to the recap of the LAFC game, Joe. What do you think, Joe?
LAFC, we won 5-0. We came into this game thinking it was going to be a tight, high-scoring game, high-powered offense, and it was a tough defensive game, and they had a lot of chances, but our defense bunkered down. And honestly, how it got to 5-0 kind of blows my mind. I went back and watched. I left the game, was like, oh my God, how we score 5 goals? And I went back and watched the replay, and 3 of them came within the last 5 minutes of the game. Honestly, they had more possession than us, and they were on our side of the ball, but our defense held strong at the back end, and all their possession was in between the 50 and the 18-yard box. They really didn't have much inside the 18-yard box. What do you got on the LAFC game?
I mean, I was first off shocked by the starting 11. I think we got to hit on that. You know, Miles Robinson is some guy that, you know, we knew that someone had to come in on the back line. I didn't expect Miles Robinson, and this kid came out and played a heck of a game. Also, big shout out, to Mikey Ambrose coming in on the left side, in for Garza, who we thought was going to play, just not for the throw-ins, like we talked about earlier. And Ambrose, I thought, put in a heck of a shift. So I was surprisingly amazed by the talent that they displayed. These are 2 kids that haven't played a lot with the first team. This was Robinson's first MLS start. We saw Ambrose for a little bit last year, but not a lot. So, I mean, these guys played their tails off. I'm excited to see him in the team.
Yeah, Miles Robinson was drafted ahead of Gressel. He was our first overall. He was second overall pick, our first overall, and everyone was excited to see him last year and never played, but he put on a heck of a show. The only mistake he had was he was the one that stayed back and let Carlos Vela play that pass through to Diego Rossi and kept Rossi on side, their best chance of the game. And Rossi had one bad touch, and Miles Robinson bolted back, and one touch, he was on top of him, stopped a wide open chance on Brad Guzan. You could see the speed and quickness that Robinson has. It was very impressive. He made up for his mistake, and other than that, he showed no fear. He took a couple slide tackles in the box to clear the ball. impressive from a rookie. Ambrose put in a solid shift. I wasn't impressed with his offensive mindset. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to throw a quick cross in the box, and every cross he put in seemed to go off an LA defender and go outside. But as a makeshift starter there, he did solid.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about action in the game. Obviously, the game starts off. Everyone's hyped. We'd been hanging out in the Gulch all day. Coming into the game, everyone's pumped. McCann comes flying in with what looks like a clean tackle. And first thing we get right off the bat is a red card.
Red card.
We're talking about a red card here, Joe.
Yeah, it's not good.
But you know what's new? Well, not that new. VAR. VAR. Everyone starts chanting VAR. McCann doesn't even leave the field. I've never seen anything like it. Normally when you get a red card, you just walk back to the locker room.
Yeah.
Throw your shirt, take an early shower.
He stood there on the sideline.
He's just standing there on the sidelines. I'm like, wait, I totally personally forgot about it. I was like, all right, we're screwed. We're going down to 10 men for the rest of the game.
Happened
This is
in
gonna
the first
be
minute.
first. Like I just watched this stupid Minnesota game, and now this is happening. So I was a little bit down on what was going on. VAR comes
Understandably.
through. It was a clean tackle. It was the right call. What do you think about VAR? I know we've talked about it before. Do you think that this is something that's good for the league, bad for the league? What are your thoughts, Joe?
Oh man, I'm not a fan of VAR, but I believe it can be done right. And Tata Martino had a good explanation of how he is not a fan. He was basically saying it slows down the game. If we keep doing video review for every single call, our sport is going to be just as long as a basketball game, which you know how long those basketball games can take, especially in the final 2 minutes. And I agree with him a lot. Like, I don't want to slow it down at all. I want to trust the ref is going to make the right call. But in this situation, almost turns my opinion because it was clearly not a red card. I don't even think it was a yellow card. Maybe a foul, if you could call that, but he slid in, got the ball first. Cleats were a little bit up, but I honestly don't think it was a foul. And so my final opinion on VAR is if they can do it and have one, maybe two looks at replay and make an instant judgment call and make their correct call right there and only cap VAR at 20 or 30 seconds, maybe we have something going there.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, why does the head ref have to even look into the screen? Why can't we have someone in the booth watching a giant screen that is also a referee that is in charge of nothing but video, and he just microphones down, hey, that's not a red card, boss. And that's it. He brings him back on the field. We don't have to go through this drawn-out replay process, showing ads on the screen. Everyone's sitting around talking like it's halftime. I agree. I don't like stopping the game, but I think there's a way to get the calls right. The Premier League's done something very similar this year with goals. Now, it's not full VAR, but basically what the Premier League in England is doing is goal confirmation. So they have, the technology that can tell if the ball's gone all the way over the touchline.
Yeah.
And so what that does is immediately the head referee gets signaled down to his earpiece, goal or no goal. And that's coming straight from the booth, people watching to see if the goal went across the line completely or not. And that's it. And then he confirms the goal, the game rolls on.
And that's what's most important.
It's a seamless transition. They're still getting the call right, but they're not stopping the game. And I think that's what you're hitting on too.
Yeah.
Is we need to get the calls right. This wasn't a red card. But
Yeah.
we don't need to stop the game for 10 minutes to figure that out. Anyone that watched one replay could tell you that wasn't a red card.
And that's all it needs to be is one replay. The ref saw it on the field, made his call. Go watch one replay. Yes or no, did I make it right? And just make your judgment there.
That's it. That's all it needs to be. So, moving forward in the game, opening up the score sheet, Gresselmania in the 17th minute.
Gresselmania.
A great ball played across the box. And honestly, just no one was marking Gressel.
He was wide open on the backside. You saw it was a steal. High press comes into action again. We stole the ball, played it down to the left wing, and everybody's kind of focusing on Miguel. Joseph Martinez is making a cut. You had 4 defenders go towards Joseph. Gressel's standing there, arms up at the back post. The ball slides through, and it was just a tap in.
Yeah, I mean, I there's not a lot of goals that I watch because I'm not the most skilled player that I would say, yes, I would have put this one in the net. I think I would have put this one in the net. I think you would have put this one in the net, Joe. I mean, he almost shot it two straight down the middle. I'm watching it right now. I mean, that was a great goal, just in terms of positioning. But I mean, that was the easiest finish of his life. I mean, that's like, wow, put it on a platter for
First goal of the
WrestleMania.
season. But later in the game, he had an assist as well. Yeah.
Fantastic assist.
Yeah, that's what gave him player of the game, man of the match, going down the wing, chipping the ball up for Joseph Martinez to head it in. Speaking of hair, that was awesome.
Wait, did you just talk about hair? Like Joseph Martinez's hair?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to have to just bring it in here really quick. It's time for a Joseph Martinez. Okay, so Joseph got a lot of flack this week because he went gray.
Yeah, but how'd the Gray do? The Gray is 1 goal, 1 game.
That's why I'm bringing you the hair watch. He got his goal. Would think maybe he's going to stick with the gray. But guess what? Via pictures today, it looks like he's dyed it back blonde.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's kept it gray on the sides. So he's going with a gray-blonde combo with the cast. That's really all I got for hair watch this week. I just keep an eye on it, guys. This is the first combo color Joseph we've really had. I mean, we've always had blonde highlights with what looked like his natural hair color, but now we're going 2 hair colors.
Well, that's a great point. He's got gray. He's 100% scoring with gray hair in a game.
He's 1 for 1 with gray.
100%. And then blonde, he's very high up there. Do you have the percentage?
I mean, if you take all his goals in blonde, he's probably over a goal a game in a blonde hairstyle. I mean, we're talking about a guy that scored 24 in 25 games. This guy scores every game, period.
Yeah.
The only
downside he had was
with blonde.
The only downside was when he went Cisco on us. What you call it, periwinkle?
The periwinkle was a disaster,
Yeah.
statistically speaking.
Man, that's
He
great.
might have done better on Bumble with the periwinkle, but goal scoring wise, he did it.
Yeah. Well, but anyways, I want to drink to Joseph Martinez,
Yeah.
and I want to give you guys this week beer of the week.
Dang. That was aggressive. We're drinking to Joseph now? Like, we're angry at him?
No, drinking in celebration.
Oh, we're celebrating Joseph
Joseph Martinez,
and his new hairstyle.
and he's going to be in the starting lineup this week because we all want to see him there.
I think so. I mean, have you ever played with a cast?
No, I've never played professional soccer in my life.
Yeah. I thought, well, have you never played at all?
I've played soccer.
Okay. It'd be tough with a cast. Or you could just knock people out with it.
Yeah, it's in your arm. You're fine.
What do we got this week, Joe?
Eventide. The A.
We are the A.
It's another IPA, and it's called The A. It's wonderful. Let me open it for you guys. Got my golden spike here.
Golden Spike of Atlanta.
Let me hammer it in. Give me a little ATL. Hold on one second. Ready? ATL.
Oh.
It's a better open this week. I didn't spray everybody.
Yeah, that was one of your best opens yet.
I drank one of these earlier to about 10 hot wings,
Oh, those are some tasty hot wings.
and it goes down really well. It's smooth. It's fruity. It's a classic IPA,
It's even.
and it's a Tide.
I don't know. It's an eventide. We've had a lot of IPAs on the show. I agree with you. This is probably one of the best like hot food pairing IPAs I've had. You know what I mean? Like it went perfect with those hot wings earlier.
Yeah. To eat a wing, spicy, drink a beer.
Yeah. It's tropical.
The A.
Drink it down
It's-
the A.
It's thirst quenching.
So you guys check it out. Grant Park Brewery, Eventide, awesome place for just hanging out on a random day. Or I know they host events there too. So if you guys are, interested in having a private event or something, I know Eventide's a great spot to host. And they also got some great beer. So you guys check it out. Eventide the A is our beer of the week. And it's a tribute to our city and I guess to Joseph this week. So cheers to Joseph and the A.
Cheers to Joseph.
That's a great beer. So, Joe, I think it's time that we get to what's really on everyone's mind, and that's what's going on Sunday, 6 p.m. in the Bins, NYCFC. Huge match.
Big preview. coming up, NYCFC, number 1 team in the league. They haven't lost yet. The only scratch on their record is a tie to a surprising New England team who was the worst team in the league last year. We beat them 7-0. And they tied them. Other than that, they've gone ahead and beat other teams. They beat the worst team in the league, Orlando City.
Yeah.
So they can't be that scary. They go on and beat Orlando, who, we pee on every time.
Well, I mean, you were hating on New England right off the bat. You do realize New England's in 3rd right now.
Yeah.
They're right behind us. They're having a heck of a season.
So surprising.
So NYCFC really hasn't. I mean, that's not even a scratch on the record. They have drew to the 3rd-place team. I mean, this team's been pretty much flawless since the season started.
Very flawless. Now, it is definitely, I'm going to say it's the best team we're going to face so far. But on the teams they play, like, what's their strength of schedule? They played a bunch of Western Conference teams and Orlando.
True. Very true.
So it's and to their point though, they've played most of these games without 2 star players. Alexander Ring and David Villa have been injured for half the season as of right now, and they didn't play much. They both came in as a late sub their last game where they thrashed the opposition 4-0.
Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, you watch that game, didn't you?
They're a good team no matter who they put out there. And I don't know if it's the fact that they are owned by Manchester City and Manchester City's using them as sort of a farm system. That's kind of what I'm sensing.
Right.
This is a team that has a lot of financial backing, very similar to us, although it's some like kind of foreign oil sketch money. The only hate I have against NYCFC has been that they play at a baseball field. But this is a team top to bottom. Their entire lineup is solid. They don't just have good players at their starting positions. They have great depth. I mean, they started a bunch of random guys.
Right.
I saw a joke on Twitter today. It was saying that, this is like when you're playing FIFA career mode and you just bring up a bunch of academy players because your starters are hurt. And it's just computer-generated names. It looked like computer-generated names. They go out there and they dominate Real Salt Lake. So I'm very concerned about this game. One,
right.
From where we're at an injury standpoint. We've been kind of battered by injuries recently. And then 2, they didn't even play a lot of their best players in this midweek game, so they should be coming in full strength. They're going to be scary opposition coming to the Benz. I'm pumped for this game, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, it's going to be a great game, and you mentioned their depth. They spent a lot of money in putting into their attack. A couple of players to watch out for. One, Maxi Morales. He was brought in last year. A lot of hype. Argentine. And he came in a little slow last year, then really brought it on. Was a very big key in their attack. This year, he's leading MLS in goals with 4 goals. He's also got 2 assists. He's a solid player, really cog in their attack. Another player who's leading MLS is Jesus Medina. He's got 5 assists this year, coming in on the wing. And a third player to watch out for is Ismail Tajori. That's another guy they brought in the offseason. This was a January signing to really boost that attack, to go along with a player that doesn't play much right now is David Villa. And those 3 up front, you place David Villa with them. They got a quad grouping that is very fierce, possibly one of the best in the MLS.
Yeah, let's talk about Ismail for a second. He is actually, from Switzerland.
Right.
He's 24 years old, brought in, I think he was brought in from an Austrian team most recently.
That's who he's played for his whole career until now.
And this kid plays in a very similar role to Miguel. He plays kind of that attacking midfield role. He's right behind the strikers creating. I think this is a guy that we really got to watch out for. Larry's going to have to do a really good job of tracking him this game because this kid's scary good.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you guys thought LAFC was a solid attacking team. Well, NYCFC brings a little bit more to the table because LAFC had about 3 solid attacking players. NYCFC has 6. And they're just going to be constantly pressing. The one thing that I think Atlanta has advantage on them, and we'll bring this up, the last 2 games, we went to New York City last year, lost 3-1. They came to our place, we won 3-1. and it was a trade-off on the stadium. New York City plays in Yankee Stadium, and it's about the size of a picnic table. And then you bring them to NYC or into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's the size of the ocean. And we're gonna have so much room to spread the ball around, and they're not used to playing like that. And that's where our advantage lies: is being at our home, having number 17s behind us, being able to play the ball wide, while they're just trying to play direct.
Yeah, I think we got to watch out for a couple things in this game, and I totally agree with you. They are a direct team, but when they go direct, they are still world class in terms of, I mean, David Villa, the guy might be 36 years old, but this is a world class player, and he has accomplished everything at every level. I mean, this is a guy that was on Barcelona. He played for Atletico Madrid. And then he comes to, NYCFC, I think it was in 2014, and he's torn up the league. He's been arguably the best player in MLS 2014, 2015, 2016 in terms of consistency.
Yeah.
This guy has just dominated. I mean, he scored 66 goals for NYCFC. I mean, we think Joseph has played well in his first season and a half. He has. But David Villa is a class above all other strikers in MLS, save for maybe Zlatan right now. But we'll see how he does long term.
And
So
Joseph.
I'm scared of David Villa. I'm scared of their attack.
Well, you're scared of David Villa, but he hasn't started for them in the past 4 games. He came in 30 minutes last game, so maybe that's preparation to get ready for this game. They might start him up front. I can guarantee you they're going to play him if they don't start him. But we might not have to see him for full 90 minutes, which
Very
would be
true.
great.
Very true. I mean, someone once told me, form is temporary, fitness is temporary, class is permanent. David Villa is class.
He
And
is.
It doesn't matter how fit he is. When he comes on, he's a goal threat.
Yeah.
Whether it's full 90 or whether it's 20 minutes at the end.
When
So
Spain won the World Cup several years ago, David Villa, he was the Golden Boot winner that year. Scored a goal per game.
So watch out for that guy. I love him as a player. I'm not going to love him on Sunday. But this is one of the greatest strikers of all time. So we got to show him some respect. I'll be clapping for him after the game just to show respect, win or lose. This is a player that I've seen climb through, the top tier of European talent, and now he's playing in MLS. I always think that's awesome to see. So got to have respect for the legends, and David Villa is one of them.
Yeah, that's great. So now we got a strong, highly powered attack from NYCFC. They've got a decent defense. They're top in the league. We've got injuries on our side. Who is going to be our starting 11? I think it's a good time for Tata's tactics.
I agree. Tata's tactics. What do you got, Joe? If you gotta stick with the formation this week, and I've gone back and forth with this one, especially due to our injury situation. Are you going 3-5-2, or you think this is the week we jump back to the 4-3-3?
It's one of those things that 3-5-2 has been amazing for us. We haven't lost with it yet. I'm knocking my wooden hammer.
Knock on that wooden hammer.
You put out a great lineup this week. With the injuries, I know you thought about it. I looked over it. I thought it was a pretty decent lineup. I'm going to go ahead and let you give us your starting 11, and I'll tell you who might be able to fit in where I may or may not disagree.
Okay, so I threw up just a mock 3.
You threw up?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, not recently. A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Carry on.
3-5-2. I threw it up on the screen. I didn't throw anything up, out of my stomach quite yet. But I think we're going to go with the 3-5-2 again. Only I think it's going to be a little bit modified this week. I think we're going to stick with the back 3 of McCann and Parkey on the left side and then the middle. And then I think we're going to slot LGP back in this week, back from suspension. Like we said, I just think even though he was suspended, Miles Robinson played great. I think it's time for LGP to come back in the lineup. He's just a better player overall. Will help solidify that back line. Let's talk about the wing backs. How can you drop Gresselmania right now?
You can't.
I mean, the guy's playing out of his skin. He's been arguably our best player this season so far. If you take a full body of work, I'd say put Gresselmania up there at the top. I know he has the most MLS Team of the Week appearances. Gresselmania on the right wing.
Wonderful Gresselmania.
The right wing back role. And then I think Greg Garza comes back this week at that left wing back. He's been training all week. Like you said, he's not going to have the operation immediately that he needs, but he's not going to have it. So bring him in the game.
Yeah, that's great.
So, I mean, would you change anything about that back three or that back five, if you will?
You put up a great lineup. One thing I really want to mention, the rotation that Tata Martino has gone through this year. One thing last year, he didn't rotate his players all that much until he really twisted his arm with injuries. This year, a lot of players have made their appearance. Mikey Ambrose last week. Romario Williams has come in. You had Miles Robinson. Kevin Kratz has appeared almost every game. Who else we got?
In the Minnesota game, we saw Awo come in. We
Andrew
saw
Wheeler,
Zizzo come in.
Zizzo has played.
So you're right. He's been rotating a lot. I guess the midfield is the one spot where we haven't seen a lot of rotation. I'll go ahead and get to that. I think we stick with the Larry, Nagbe, Miggy, three in the middle. Obviously, Miggy playing forward of Larry and Nagbe. Nagbe playing more as the 8, Larry playing as that 6 role, and Miggy playing as the 10. But, I think that we got to keep that 3 in the midfield.
So I like your defense with Parkhurst in the middle. You got LGP and McCann flanking him on either side. I may put LGP on the left side because he's tended more that way, but also McCann is a guy that's a left player, so may stick with LGP on the right. Garza is a question mark. He hasn't played yet. I don't know how healthy he is. That's one spot that maybe we put someone else like Mikey Ambrose in the back and put McCann up there. Another big option, who's been playing this week? Who's been practicing? Ezequiel Barco.
The boat.
This little Argentine, I'm going to let him shine. Little Barco.
I think that could stick.
Yeah, Barco could play either where Garza is or where Super Romario is. Either of those spots would be a wonderful spot for him to control the field, have a lot of space to work with. But also, he's a lot like David Villa, played 30 minutes last week, and how a trend is when you're coming back into form, they give you 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there before you're ready to go.
Yeah, I don't see Barco starting. And I know you touched on Super Mario. That is the finishing kind of point in my lineup is kind of that front two instead of obviously Tito, who's out this week, most likely.
Great point.
With that leg injury, is Super Mario pairing with the casted Josef Martinez. I'm excited to see maybe those two guys playing together. I think it would be Tata's best move. I thought about Carlton in that position.
Yeah,
I don't think Carlton's quite ready to play up front as a striker.
And I see how you put here on your visual aspect on our YouTube channel, you put Romario kind of left-sided. I would put Carlton if it was a left side, and I would shift it back to the regular way where Tito was on the right side because Romario is a right-sided player, and have Miggy kind of that left middle of the field role. But did you see Romario Williams in the limited action he had last week?
Fantastic goal.
He had player of the last half, the last 15 minutes.
The last 5 minutes.
He came in. He was the one that drew the foul that gave Kevin Kratz a chance, who was going to score a goal if it wasn't hit by a hand. Romario Williams dribbled down the line, drew the foul. Kratz hit the penalty or the foul kick into an arm. Miggy scored a goal. And then Super Romario gets a goal late in the game, dribbling, shaking off defenders, throws it in left foot. I mentioned to our longtime podcast viewers, preseason, I mentioned Romario Williams as a guy I'm excited for. And I talked about how Charleston Battery, he scored 15 goals right-footed, only 3 left-footed, and a couple headers. I was wondering if he had a left foot. Well, he proved to me that a 20-yard shot on the ground rocket into the goal that he has a left foot.
Great shot.
I'm excited to see this guy possibly get some solid minutes this game. And him with Joseph, and you got Gresselmania flanking him to get some space. Miguel Marone in the middle to create more space. And then you also got Darlington Nagbe to kind of feed him the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking Super Mario is a dark horse this whole season. Because if Joseph goes down like he normally does with an injury at some point, and he almost did this week, we got to have a solid number 9, and I think Romario's the guy. So can't wait to see him this game, hopefully up front with Joseph.
Yeah, so that's great. That wraps up a little bit of Tata's tactics. And a little shout out, Michael Parkhurst, I wanted to mention earlier. I'm just going to throw it in. He's my MVP of the season. I thought he had an incredible game again, 3 weeks in a row. He's going to be my vote for most valuable player to our team.
I think it's a little early for MVP. I think there's a lot of guys you could throw out there. My vote would probably be either I think Parkey's a great pick. I honestly think that, you can't discount what Larry's been doing in the midfield either. But
MVP of our podcast?
WrestleMania.
I'm going to go with Chuck with Phantom Maniacs, making some amazing swag. Got these WrestleMania hats. Got our WrestleMania flag that I might finally wave during the next game. Brit got an autograph. She went down man of the match. She got it autographed. We throw our Brad Guzan flag. Phantom Maniacs made that. It's wonderful. So as a little shout out to Chuck as our MVP of the moment. And thank you guys for listening to our show. This is ATLians United Podcast. Hit us up. We're on YouTube. We're on all the streaming channels. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, as much as no one likes them right now.
We're on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook.
Insta.
But people still like for some reason.
All under ATLians United. And thank you all to our listeners. Keep listening. Give us thumbs up. Give us likes. Subscribe. And this has been ATLians United. It's been a wonderful show. I can't wait to imbibe in some Eventide at the game this week.
Eventide.
Little libation.
Imbation.
Imitation.
I got nothing.
For the migration of Mbia to Atlanta United.
I don't know if it's going to happen.